Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another episode. Today will be the other 20. Will be the other 29 New Year's Six bowls. If you've watched my first episode on the first 18 bowl games, I'm doing separate videos. I just did the first 18 bowl games. I've already picked those. So if you have not seen that episode, go ahead and watch it right now. But my picks for the first 18 bowl games uh, will be on the channel. So go ahead and check it out. It'll also be in the description down below. Um, so we'll start this one with the next 29 New Year's Six bowls. Of course, then we'll get to New Year's Six, which includes the college football playoff, and then we will get to my predicted national championship game and national champion. So first of all, though, let's get to the other 20 bowl games. First, we have the Ticket Smarter, sorry, Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl between Houston and Auburn. Auburn does not have Bo Nix. Bo Nix transferring out among the 30 million quarterbacks are in the portal now. It just keeps growing. But Bo Nix no longer with the Auburn Tigers. Now I believe it's former LSU transfer TJ Finley for the Auburn Tigers. Should be a really good game. Um, it's kind of hard to really say who's going to win this one. I'm going to take Houston, though. I'm not really big on Auburn's team. Houston played pretty close with Cincinnati for a while. They have a solid overall team. Their only two losses are the first one to Texas Tech and their recent one to Cincinnati. I think Houston should be able to knock off this Auburn team and prove that they're better than the bottom than one of the barely bowl eligible Power Five schools. Get a nice Power Five win for that Cougar program. Now we have the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl of Air Force and Louisville. Now, if you watched my video earlier, which included the Armed Forces Bowl with Army playing Missouri, you'll know what I have already said about the armed force, about Air Force and Army and Navy and those kinds of teams. That it's very hard to pick them. It's very hard to know what to do with them. Not necessarily pick them, but it's hard to do. It's hard to know what to do with them because they only run the ball all the time. This one, though, I'm taking Louisville. I like Louisville's team. Lee Cunningham is a good quarterback. I believe is a good quarterback. Louisville's got a solid overall team. I like them to knock off this Air Force squad and get the First Responders Bowl for themselves. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl of Mississippi State and Texas Tech. Texas Tech's going through a coaching change. Mississippi State is not. Their quarterback has been playing great football. I take Mississippi State to win this one and win the Liberty Bowl for themselves. Next, we have the San Diego County Credit Union. Essentially, it's a holiday bowl. It is a holiday bowl, but it got all the 5 words that have it. The San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl. So it's a holiday bowl. UCLA and NC State. This is a good matchup. Both of these teams are very good. UCLA, obviously, DTR, Zach Charbonnet, all great players for UCLA. NC State had a solid 9-3 year in the ACC. Fell just short of making a ACC championship game. Of course, losing to Wake Forest was the killer for them. This should be a very good game. I think NC State should be very competitive in this one, but I have UCLA coming on top in the end. I like UCLA's offense. DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, very good. Zach Charbonnet, and then their other running back, both of which can play very well. This is a tough matchup, really, for NC State. We've already seen NC State struggle with teams who have good offenses. Specifically, we saw them play against Wake Forest, and they could not really stop them. So I'm going to take UCLA to win this one. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl. This should be another good one, too. West Virginia and Minnesota. Minnesota had a really nice year, knocked off Wisconsin yet again, getting that big win over the Badgers. That really had to make the Gophers feel good getting that win. And now they play West Virginia, pretty solid Big 12 team. But I'm gonna take Minnesota. I don't think West Virginia really has enough to stop PJ Fleck's offense with Tanner Morgan. And I think that running in their running room, which has a million injuries, but I think Minnesota has what it takes to win this one. It should be a very competitive game, but I think the Gophers have just enough to win this one. The Wasabi Fenway Bowl, kind of like the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. Anyway, SMU and Virginia. I believe the Virginia Cavaliers do have Braden Armstrong back, which is simply why I am taking Virginia. The SMU this is going to be more of a shootout type game. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of defense in this one, but I have Virginia winning in a shootout type game against SMU. And like I said, Armstrong, I'm pretty sure, is supposed to be back for this game, which is a game changer for the Virginia Cavaliers. I think Virginia wins this one, knocks off SMU in a shootout type game in the home of the Boston Red Sox. And then the home of the New York Yankees in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl. We have Maryland and Virginia Tech, which should be a kind of interesting game. I have Maryland winning this one, though. Virginia Tech is going through coaching changes. Will have a coaching change. They do have their new head coach, but he won't be there for that game. Maryland has a very, very good offense. Virginia Tech's team is okay, but I think Maryland has the team to win this one. I think they'll knock off the Hokies and win the Pinstripe Bowl. And then we have another really good one right below it, the Cheez-It Bowl. A lot of these bowl games, honestly, for the non-New Year's Six, are very, very good. Most of these matchups, they did a pretty stinking good job with. But now we have the Cheez-It Bowl, Clemson and Iowa State. Iowa State's kind of been up and down. They've had some good weeks. They've had some not so good weeks. Clemson had a bit of a rough start to the year, and they've been hitting their stride since then. I want to pick. I think this is going to be a very competitive game. Both teams are going to play well, but Clemson's been more of on a upswing more than Iowa State has. Iowa State is going to make this very competitive and tough for the Tigers, but I think Clemson just has enough to knock off the Cyclones and get another 10-win season. In their back pocket. And then a bowl game everyone's talking about, the Valero Alamo Bowl of the 14th ranked Oregon Ducks and the 16th ranked Oklahoma. Oh, and if I didn't say, Clemson is ranked 19th in the country. Oregon 14 has a really good team. Neither of these teams are actually going to have their head coach, as Brent Venables is now the head coach for Oklahoma, but he will not be there for that game. Of course, Lincoln Riley left for USC. That was a stunning move. And then Oregon had its own stunning move with Mario Cristobal leaving for Miami, Florida after Manny Diaz got fired. They now have Georgia's defensive coordinator, Dan Lulling, I think is what his name is. But he won't be there for that game. So both teams entering this game with neither of their head coaches. And Oregon, we don't know about Kayvon Thibodeau yet. Will he play? Will he not? Obviously, a lot of players tend to skip their bowl games so that when they get to time to skip their bowl games, because when they do get to they tend to skip the bowl games because they obviously are entering the pro draft, and when they do enter the pro draft, they don't want to be hurt going into the pro draft, and they have a chance of getting hurt before the NFL draft in the bowl game. So a lot of players just tend not to really play when it comes to the bowl game. But this one, I don't really know who's playing and who isn't just yet. But Oklahoma obviously will definitely have Caleb Williams. Oregon may have Kayvon Thibodeau. Both of these teams are very, very, very good. But I think Oklahoma has just a bit more than the Oregon Ducks, and I think they take it home and they win the Alamo Bowl. However, this is going to be a very competitive game. Make sure you tune in for this one. It's going to be a really good game. We have Duke's Mayo Bowl of North Carolina and South Carolina, and this could not be a better choice either. I mean, honestly, they had to have planned this because there is no way they planned North Carolina, South Carolina to be playing each other. First of all, they're huge rivals. Second of all, the game is taking place at the Carolina Panthers Stadium. I'm pretty sure that's where Duke's Mayo Bowl is played. So you combine all those things together, you know that it almost has to be planned. There's no way they simply just decided, oh, we'll have North Carolina and South Carolina play each other. I think this is such a good matchup. This is gonna be this is really anybody's game. Thank you guys. Sorry, that's my family. They're watching the game just like me. So North Carolina, South Carolina. This should be very good. North Carolina has, I think, the better team. Oh my gosh. I don't think they have any idea I'm recording. Sorry, guys. But North Carolina, I have winning this one. Should be very, very fun, though. Big rivals. They're going to be fighting their heads off for this game. But North Carolina takes it home. They win Duke's Mayo Bowl. The Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl of Tennessee and Purdue. Tennessee's team is decent this season. They had an all right year. Purdue is 8-4. They had a very nice season. I'm gonna go with the Boilermakers to win this one. Purdue has a really good team. David Bell has been a sensation at wide receiver for the Boilermakers, and Purdue has been playing outstanding football. I will take Purdue to win the Music City Bowl, and get themselves a really nice win to end the year. Get to 9-4 would be a huge accomplishment for that Purdue squad. The SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. So here's the Las Vegas Bowl. Here's now the Las Vegas Bowl. After the LA Bowl, we replaced what they used to have, which was a Mountain West champion, and then just a random Pac-12 team. This time they have Wisconsin and Arizona State, which is actually a really good matchup. This should be a lot of fun. Wisconsin's team, overall, I'm not that big of a fan of it. Of course, I've also watched a lot of Big Ten games, so I've watched a lot of Wisconsin. And I'm not big into Graham Mertz. They do have a good running back, but I've watched Arizona State as well, and this team is very talented. Jaden Daniels, very good. Overall, this should be all-out war. I'm expecting a very good game, but I'm going to take Arizona State. I give the Sun Devils just an edge in this one. I've seen Arizona State also have some late game blunders. I've seen them have some bad moments. Jacob Serbenski can attest to that. He knows them all too well. But Arizona State's team, I like Arizona State's team a lot. Wisconsin, not so much. I wouldn't be surprised if Wisconsin won the game, but I think Arizona State should be able to take care of business in that one. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl between number 17 Wake Forest and number 25 Texas A&M. Both of these teams had decent years. Texas A&M got the only win this year. Was the only team to beat Alabama. And then they lost 4 of the games. But and Wake Forest, well, they had a pretty miraculous year in the ACC. Came a game away from winning it. Lost in the ACC championship game to Pitt. But now they get in the Gator Bowl to play Texas A&M. Wake Forest is well known for its offense. It's not known. Well, it's well known on its defense too. So it's well known for being the worst. And then Texas A&M does not have Zach Calzada. He is transferring out. One of the, as I said, 30 billion names that continue to enter the portal at the quarterback room. At the quarterback position, I shouldn't say quarterback room. Well, I guess the same thing. Texas A&M, though, this next season, they are looking absolutely dangerous because they actually have right now, they have the number 1 recruiting class in the country. Yeah, Texas A&M's actually ahead of both Bama and Georgia, believe it or not. But Texas A&M's team, overall, it's pretty solid. Due to Wake Forest's lack of ability to stop literally anybody, I'm going to take Texas A&M because this is a balanced team. I've watched them play. They're pretty solid all around. I think A&M is going to have enough to at least put up enough points to outscore Wake Forest because I think it'll be a perfect balance of they don't necessarily score like 1,000,000 points, but they also don't let Wake Forest score more than them. So it'll work out. Their balanced attack will really work out. And now we have Tony the Tiger's Sun Bowl. So the Sun Bowl. Washington State and Miami, Florida. Another situation where, well, I guess Washington State will actually kind of have their head coach because they just made their interim head coach their guy. Miami, Florida, though, will not, as they fired Manny Diaz and got themselves Mario Cristobal. So he'll not be there for this game, I don't think, for the Sun Bowl. But it should be a really good one between Miami, Florida, who had a late season surge against a Washington State team that was overall not too bad. This should be a decent game, but Miami, Florida has the better team, I think, in this scenario. I have the Hurricanes winning this one and winning the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. The Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl between Central Michigan and Boise State. Remember earlier, if you watched the other 18 bowl game episode with me picking the other 18 bowl games, I said that the Michigan teams didn't really have that good of a chance except for like maybe Western Michigan and then Michigan. This is why. Boise State is way better than Central. I watched Boise State play. This is much too good a team for Central to beat. I like Boise State's team way more. Central does not have a good chance in this one. They get destroyed by Boise State. The Outback Bowl should be an uneventful one. Penn State and Arkansas. Number 21, Arkansas. But these two teams are pretty stinking good. I know Penn State ended up being 7-5. But I think their team is better than their record actually shows. This is an offense that's kind of had some ups and downs. It's struggled, but this defense is absolutely incredible. Now, it should be fun to really see what happens between Treylon Burks and Penn State's defense. Will be really a interesting game, but I think it's going to be back and forth. It might be a low scoring. I'm not really sure. But Penn State's offense has become more and more inept. And I don't really see, there's not a lot of teams that can stop Treylon Burks. I think Arkansas has enough to pull away and win the Outback Bowl. But that is going to be one to watch on New Year's Day, which brings it up as obviously Christmas time is right around the corner here. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. It's a little early, obviously, right now, but Merry Christmas to you all. I hope you really enjoy it. You get the gifts that you want, and that you all just have a great time. And also, Happy New Year. Obviously, that's another few weeks away, but Happy 2022. The Verbo Citrus Bowl. Thank you. Please excuse my family. Verbo Citrus Bowl, the Iowa 15 ranked Iowa. Bleh, wow, now they got me going. The 15th ranked Iowa Hawkeyes at 10-2 versus number 22 Kentucky at 9-3. Or did I say 10-2? I meant 10-3 for Iowa. Kentucky had they had a good start. Then they kind of had a stretch where they weren't playing too well. Then they had a nice end to the season to get themselves back into the top 25. Iowa, they got themselves to the Big Ten championship game after Minnesota knocked off Wisconsin, and then Michigan buried them into the ground. This is going to be a very fun game. Both of these teams are kind of built the same way. Kentucky, Iowa, both more. Iowa's definitely a defensive team. Kentucky, a bit more balanced probably than the Hawkeyes are. Should be a very fun game. I'm expecting a very competitive one in this one. I want to take the Hawkeyes, but I feel like Kentucky will actually knock them off. Iowa's team is very dependent on their defense being able to create turnovers, and I don't see Kentucky really turning over the ball all too much. I think the Wildcats sneak away, and in a more of a defensive kind of struggle, they win this one against the Iowa Hawkeyes. And then the last game we have here before we move on to, obviously, as you can see down there, New Year's 6, we have the TaxAct Texas Bowl of LSU and Kansas State. Miles Brennan has rescinded his name, has taken his name back out the transfer portal, so he'll probably be playing for LSU in this game against Kansas State. There will be no Adrian Martinez for Kansas State just yet. Either way, I'm still taking Kansas State to win this one and beat LSU. LSU will not have their head coach. Kansas State is just a bit better of a team. Should be a competitive one, but I will take Kansas State to win this one and just barely. I don't know about just barely. I think they should beat LSU. Anyway, that is all I have for this episode. I will see you on the New Year's 6th episode. Until next time, adios, everyone.